Hey everybody, this is Viper4724. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at a lot of new cards from Domanaria. So I did get Teferi, Hero of Domanaria, and with that, we got a few free packs to open. As you can see right there, we have 3 free packs to open in Dominaria. The first thing that I wanted to take a look at that I didn't put in my update video was the new old free booster packs. We used to always get 3 cards, and now the packs are back to 3 cards, which is very awesome. Much happier with this. There we go. Got a new card already. Only costs 4. Draw 2 cards. Card is Divination. It's only a common. So, with the new pack, a lot more exciting, a lot more worth opening. You have 3 chances at a decent card. Just kind of makes you feel better, I guess. So, let's open our free packs from Dominaria first. And another thing that I wanted to point out were the percentages in the premium packs of getting a mythic. The Ixalan set was one of the worst percentages available. It is 26.98%, so pretty much 27% chance of getting a mythic card. Now, in the new set, as you can see, we have just over a 32% chance, which is great. And much better chance of getting a mythic card in the Dominaria set than in the original Ixalan set. If you when Rix comes back, you take a look at that, it is also 32%. I am not exactly sure why the Ixalan set was set so low for opening, but it was. So we're going to take a look at every single card we open in these 3 packs. Here we go. This is a Saga. So as you know, with the Saga cards, they're pretty much storybooks. We're going to read them by chapter. So, Song of Frail Eyes. When this support enters the board and at the beginning of each of your turns, read the current chapter and move to the next chapter. When you read the last chapter, destroy the saga at the end of the turn. So, chapter 1 and 2, your green mana bonus is increased by 1 for each creature you control until the end of your next turn. Pretty nice. Especially if you have 3 creatures, you get a 3 mana bonus. And I'm sorry that we couldn't go on to chapter 3. We will go back to that card, take a look at chapter 3 at the end of the pack. Amaranthine Wall, Defender. 06, Trap 2. This creature gains prevent damage until end of turn. If you remember, a lot of the old walls in Magic, there were a lot of zeros, a little bit bigger, and the good ones, prevent that damage so they didn't take damage at all. So they didn't die, and you could always block with them each turn. Corrosive Ooze. Cost 6, it's a 2/2. Whenever this creature attacks, an opponent's non-land support loses 1 shield. I would say that is a pretty solid common card. Even if it's just 2/2, you're making your opponent lose shield. That's awesome. Befuddle. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Draw a card. And the Flame of Keld. I will go back to this card at the end of the pack here. First, let's finish Song of Frail Eyes. So, the first 2 chapters, we're going to increase our mana bonus. Third chapter, each creature you control gets +2/+2, Trample, Berserker, First Strike until end of turn. Not a bad ending to the saga. I actually really do like that card, especially for an uncommon. So, the Flame of Keld, Chapter 1. If you have a spell in hand, deal 4 damage to your opponent. Discard your hand. Interesting. Next turn, next chapter, draw 3 cards. And the last one. Your creatures get +3/+0 until end of turn. Spells in your hand gain deal 4 damage to your opponent until end of turn. I think that's a pretty interesting card. I don't know if I would ever use it, but definitely interesting. Sorry, wrong tap. There we go. Fungal Plots. Activate 2 green. Create a Saproling token. You don't know the Saproling tokens. Whoops. I always forget that you can't click on stuff when you're going through the packs. I'm very sorry about that. We'll go back to that card. Wizard's Lightning. Cost 8. This spell costs 3 less if you control a wizard. Deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So it costs 5 to deal 3 damage. I don't think it's anything overly special. We haven't seen anything like it in a while, though. Fervent Strike. Target creature gets +1/+1 first strike and haste until end of turn. Urza's Tome. At the beginning of your turn, discard a card unless you control another historic card. Then draw a card. Jorah's Familiar. There we go. It's a bird artifact, so as you can see, artifacts are colorless. While this creature is in play, your historic cards cost 2 less. And now let's remember, historic cards are artifacts, sagas, and legendary creatures. A lot of old cards have been given the legendary symbol, so the old cards can be used in conjunction with the new set, which is really nice of them to do that for us. Okay, so back to the fungal plot. So creating a Saproling token, which is just a 1/1 creature, and then activate 2 black, lose a creature reinforcement, then gain 4 life and draw a card. That is not a bad card at all, especially creating its own reinforcements to lose to gain you that 4 life and drawing a card. I like that card. Voltaic Servant. At the beginning of your turn, a support you control gains a shield. That's pretty nice. Power Stone Shard. At the beginning of your turn, gain 2 mana for each time this support was reinforced up to 8. Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive. Token creatures you control gain unblockable. That is a legendary, also unblockable. Vidalian Arcanist. When this creature enters the battlefield, the first spell in your hand gains 4 mana. Not a terrible common card. Something else that I did want to point out, we can now click on the artwork. Take a nice look at that. And we can do that with all the artwork. That one's pretty cool. So, there are some of the new cards. Next, we are going to take a look at the Elite Packs. We're going to open a couple, see how we can do here. Okay, so let's take a look at the masterpieces that are available right now. We'll take a look at all these. So, Chroma's Vengeance, brand new masterpiece. Destroy all creatures on the battlefield and all supports on the board. You draw 2 cards. Elvish Piper, activate 2. Return this creature to your hand, and the first creature in your hand gains full mana. Kind of unique. It does cost 12 to put her in play. She is a 4/4. Having to put her back in your hand, I don't know. I mean, always make sure your first creature is an expensive one. Flash. Before your opponent's creatures attack, if this card is disabled, cast it. If you control 2 or less creatures, move the first creature in your hand to the battlefield. It gains destroy this creature at the end of turn. So, very unique card. This is about the closest thing to an instant that we've seen in the game. And I believe it's the first card that could ever be played from your hand on your opponent's turn. So I think that is pretty cool. Mythic Saga card, History of Benalia. Chapters 1 and 2. Create 2 Dominaria's Knight tokens. Knights you control get +2/+1. This is one of the cards in a purchase pack that you can get in the store right now. Kamal's Druidic Vow. I do like this card. Can only be cast if you control a legendary creature. Fetch the next 2 legendary creatures or supports from your deck to your hand. Those cards gain X mana, where X equals the number of green gems. Pretty nice card. Really like that card. Karn's Temporal Sundering. Can only be cast if you control a legendary creature. Gain 1 extra swamp. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So for the cost of 12, you get to play twice, and you get to return a creature. That is pretty awesome card. It's a great card. Multani, Yavmaya's Avatar. When this creature enters the battlefield, it gets +2/+2 for each land you control. Activate 2 green, return the first legendary creature from your graveyard to your hand. It gains 6 mana. Not a bad card at all. You do have to use it quickly. Definitely buff it with as many land supports as possible. As you can see, it does have the reach, so it can block flyers. Narumaha, Master Wizard. When this creature enters the battlefield, create a copy of the first spell in your hand. It gains full mana. Other wizards you control get +2/+2. So not bad. I think it's a little overpriced at 16, but it is what it is. Urza's Ruinous Blast. Can only be cast if you control a legendary creature. Exile all creatures and supports that aren't historic. Pretty unique. Something that probably be used pretty well in this new set. Varric's Bladewing. 8/8 Dragon. When this creature enters the battlefield, if there are 8 or more red gems, create a Varric's Bladewing token. If not, deal 8 damage to your opponent. Well, let's take a look at the Bladewing first. So, it is a legendary support card. When the support enters the board, deal 2 damage to your opponent's creatures. At the beginning of your turn, convert 2 gems to red. Then, if there are 8 or more gems, deal 2 damage to your opponent's creatures. That is pretty awesome. That is a great support to have on the board. I really like that. And what I like about this card even more, it does something either way. So if you have 8 or more gems, you get that great support. If you have less than 8 gems, you deal 8 damage to your opponent. So either way, something's going to happen. You're doing something. That's a great card. Okay, so because all of the new masterpieces aren't available, I am only going to purchase one of these elite packs. Just want to make sure it's that one. It is. Let's see what we get. And I would not be disappointed if I'm only getting a mythic here, if it's a good one. Very, very happy with Kamal's Druidic Vow. There's our first mythic of the set. Awesome card. Very happy to have it. Going to be going in a lot of decks. We're going to remind me later on that. Okay, so that is a new part of the update, I'm guessing. Not my most favorite part of the update. I really don't like it when games and apps continuously ask you to rate them. But let's get into a few more packs. We're going to open at least one of these. I'm only going to be stopping at rares and mythics, if I get any. Arved the Cursed. Card is part of a purchase pack that you can get. Obviously, no need to purchase commons and uncommons, but this is a good card. Bloodstone Goblin. Divest. Holler the Fire Fletcher. Knight of Grace. All new cards. Saproling Migration. Board of the Weatherlight. Academy Journey Mage. Skizik. Song of the Fryleyes. Okay, well, not looking too good on this pack. Okay, so our new rare in the bond, Dean of Iteration. Cost 15, 4/3 legendary. Whenever another non-token wizard enters the battlefield under your control, reinforce it. Not the best card in the world, so a couple new cards here. Well, a lot of new cards here. One new rare. Kind of hoping for a little bit better percentages with those mythics. We're going to try another one. Hope for something a little bit better here. Well, this pack is looking about the same as the last. Getting a lot of new cards, but nothing great. There we go. There's a new rare. Gwendi, Pride of Femarath. While this creature is on the battlefield, creatures you control with first strike gain double strike. Kind of like that card. It does cost 15. I mean, he's double strike himself. Getting double strike is huge in this game. And another rare, Valduk, Keeper of the Flame. At the beginning of your turn, create a Valduk's elemental token for each support you control. The elemental is 3/1. Trample haste. This creature is exiled at the end of turn. So, I actually really like this card. So, at the beginning of each turn, you're going to get a Trampling Haste. 3/1 for each support you control. It is red. Still with 4 supports on the board, 5 supports on the board. And you're sitting at, 12, 15 hit creature every turn that you could use as a berserker. You could use in the first place to get rid of a white kill support. I really like that one. Well, only one mythic that I actually had to go and get from an elite pack, a few good rares, a lot of new cards. I really hope you enjoyed it. We will be taking a look at the new Planeswalker in another video. Make sure you take a look at that. I also did an update video for the 2.7. Make sure you take a look at that so you know what has happened in the game and what's going to be happening in the game. Thank you all for watching. This is Viper4724.